Hey guys, welcome back to the trailer build. It's video number 2 in the series. So basically our floor is done. We finished this yesterday, so it's been about 24 hours now, and everything looks really good with the floor. Very, very happy with the way everything turned out. So before we get too much more into video number 2, guys, if this is your first time finding my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my content. This is something quite unique for the channel, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button, and thanks guys for watching. So you can see the ramp there. Everything's nice and dry. Now, as I was mentioning, these chips are not all gonna stay. Like some of them are like those guys, which is totally cool, but the sand worked really, really well on the ramp. It's nice and grippy, not gonna slip at all. And then inside the trailer, same thing. Actually works good. The paint chips provide just a little bit of grip, but it's not overly slippery at all. So I'm wearing my Crocs right now, and these are probably my most slippery shoes. Now, they're not wet, of course, but yeah, worked out good. So next thing we're going to tackle is insulating the roof. So I'm just going to use some 1-inch styrofoam board. Basically, we have just over 1 inch, so it's going to sit in there nicely. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to fasten it. I did get some PL 300, I think. It's designed for fastening foam board, but we do have these channels on the side as well too, so if we can get these cut nicely, we might be able just to stuff the board in there and then put a little dollop of adhesive kind of in the middle section. So anyways, that's the plan. Should be fairly straightforward. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to line the roof with yet. I'd like to use FRP, which is fiberglass reinforced panels, but they're like about $60 each for a 4x8 sheet, and we would need probably 4, because we're 8 feet wide or longer, so we're 4 feet, 8 feet, 12 feet, plus a little bit because it's a 14-foot trailer, not including the V-nose. So we probably need 4 sheets, and I really don't want to spend $240 on FRP panels. I don't want to put anything too heavy up here because, I mean, this roof isn't designed to hold a ton of weight. So I want to keep it fairly light. All we're going to have in the roof is we're going to have the paneling, the insulation, and then some surface mounted lights. I'm thinking all of my electrical, because I'm going to put a shore plug in the front, which I've already ordered. So I can just plug my generator in, plug an extension cord into the shore power, and then the whole trailer will be powered. So any of my electrical, I'm just going to do surface mounting stuff. I don't want to bury that stuff in the wall just in case, and if it needs to be serviced, things like that. But my plan is quite simple. I mean, the shore power is going to come in at the, it's hard doing this in the camera, at the front, and we'll have one miscellaneous plug at the front, and then we'll have another whole series of 2 lights on the ceiling, maybe a plug by the big ramp door, and that's basically it. So it's going to be fairly simple, but that's it, guys. I'm going to insulate the ceiling. I will show you progress, or if I have any ingenious ideas or any words of wisdom or any struggles, I'll show you that stuff as well. All right, guys, so I've gotten 3 of the panels put in so far, and these are 2x4 sheets, and it works quite well. So I've just been trimming a little piece off. The roof joists, or whatever you want to call them, are all different sizes, so I've been cutting them individually, and I find if you get a nice tight fit, you kind of have to jam them up there. And then I've just been using this the silver duct foil, like foil duct tape, not duct tape like the silver plastic stuff. This stuff is for wrapping ducts, and on our turbines and jets and stuff, we often use it for heat protection. So just using that to stick the insulation up top. And I do have a can of insulating foam there. So what I'm going to do afterwards is come along here and just seal up these cracks. And I'll probably do this top part here of the wall. I'm not insulating the walls, but the airspace in there will be good, and it'll provide just a little bit of heat protection. But I'm more worried about the ceiling, but if I can block that off, that'll be helpful. So I'll just go around the perimeter and do that. And that's progress so far. So I'm just going to continue with this. Really nothing fancy to show you other than cut the pieces a little bit wide so they fit in there nice and snug. All right, guys, done for tonight. We got probably about 75%. Here's a shot looking backwards. About 75% of the ceiling done. And turned out really well. I actually don't even mind this look just the way it is. I could conceivably leave that as long as the stuff would all stay up there, and I would be okay with that, but probably good to protect it anyways. So now what I did here just as a test is for about 3/4 of this side of the trailer, I filled the gap in between the foam and the rail, the L channel or L bend that is holding the foam. So that's right there. And then I filled the gap in between this back piece here, and that'll expand. Just cut it off with a razor knife, and then we'll figure out how to trim that stuff out. My thinking is once I put my paneling or whatever on the roof, I'm going to have a little angled piece like this, and that's going to cover all the trailer wires. I don't want to bury those wires or anything, because if you ever have to service the lights, getting at those wires up there is nice. And then if we want to run the electrical, we can also run the electrical in that L bend as well too. So that'll be a nice way to finish off the ceiling. I think it'll look good. Regarding the walls, build video number 1 of the trailer comes out tomorrow. So I'll be finishing the ceiling tomorrow. So your guys' responses from that video will help me decide what to do with the walls. Right now, without any of your responses, I'm a little bit partial just to putting the urethane on and leaving it the wood finish. Ceiling's going to be white, which I think will be nice because it'll be reflective. That's my initial thought. So anyways, we'll see how that works out, but that's it for tonight, and we'll finish this up probably tomorrow. All right, guys, night number 2 on the trailer build. Hopefully we can get the rest of this ceiling insulated tonight. We're really close to being done. We've got the one end panel down there, and then we've got these 1, 2, 3 big panels on the near the front, and then the V to do. So we should be able to wrap that up fairly quick. Spray foam wise, so this is the stuff I did last night. For you guys in the video, it would have been right away. Worked great. Absolutely sealed those edges together because it works as an adhesive. So all we'll do when we're done here is we're just going to take a blade and just basically cut this off, cut that off, and it'll be nice and flush, and just seals everything up at the top corner there. So I'll continue with installing the piece of foam, and I'll show you guys how I cut one. So basically what it is I just measure the distance here. The framing members width-wise have been very square, so if this is 22.5 inches, over there generally is 22.5 inches. Measure the length from here to where it butts into the wall, tuck it in, push it up, tape it, and that's it. So all those screws, before I put the spray foam in there, I'm going to remove the screws and the wiring and have that drop down, and then we can deal with that stuff afterwards. So I'll show you how I do that one. All right, guys, I checked with Luna, and she approves. Luna, do you approve? Yeah? All right, guys, the insulation is all done. I'll give you the downward shot here. There's the front section. Just did the little triangle pieces in 2 pieces per side. And there's the rest of it. So all the joints have been taped with the foil tape, and then I've gone around and done spray foam everywhere else, just the can foam. So once that's cured tomorrow, we'll cut all of it off. And I think I've got an idea for the ceiling from my 3D printer buddy Joe, who's printed many different things I've featured in different videos. So we'll definitely check that option out tomorrow and see how it looks. So, all right, guys. So picked up some supplies. We've got some 3/4 inch plywood here. This is for building our shelves and possibly some stuff up front. All the spray foam is cured on the ceiling, so we need to get that all removed before we can do anything further with the ceiling. Picked up some thin, I think it's the Luan or something plywood. Anyways, it's like 5 millimeters thick, 1/8 inch, with the wood grain. This was quite affordable. It was like $15 a sheet. If you get the stuff with the white on it, it was like $25 or $30 a sheet. So I went this route, and I can either stain this, leave it the way it is, paint it white, and it's a nice finish as well too. So we got 4 sheets of that for the ceiling, and I've got a plan on how we're going to fasten those down. Picked up this power bar. I think this is going to work awesome. This is from our local Princess Auto, and I've got a plug coming for the front of the trailer that can plug into the generator. So basically this will all make sense once that shows up in a couple weeks. And what else did we get here? We got a couple more brackets for the E-track and some screws to fasten the stuff on the ceiling. So number 10 by 1 inch screws, self-tapping, so those should work perfect. Now, I'm going to be putting vertical E-track in the trailer, but I'm not going to be doing it now purely because of cost. So a 4-foot piece of vertical E-track is $20. I need, really, if I'm doing it the way I want to do it, I need 6 per side. So that ends up being a lot of money on E-track that I don't want to spend right now, because I would rather get other parts of the trailer done first, and also my new projects. So I mean, that's 246, that's $120, $240 in just E-track, and I don't need it right now. So anyways, that'll be something I'm probably going to be doing in the future, but just wanted to let you guys know that. I think the horizontal E-track that's mounted in there currently is going to work perfect with the one shelf for now, and obviously this trailer is going to be a work in progress for a long time. All right, guys, first piece is cut. So we're 94.5 by 38.5. So what we're doing is we're just going to butt up to this back piece. This cross member is a little bit lower than the other ones, but this stuff will bend no problem. And then we're coming forward, I think, to about here, and we're going to basically be butting in the back piece and the front piece on the center of this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim these out with strips, just like the wall is done. Okay, so we'll cut a strip to match this, and then we'll put that on here and screw that strip into the center, and that'll hold both sides in. So essentially we're going to have one trim piece going right down the center all the way, and then we'll have another trim piece going across the middle. So there'll just be 2 trim pieces holding the entire ceiling. Of course, we're going to screw in on all the members, but I'm coming shy on the edge of the ceiling as well. So what my plan, basically what I'm doing is the ceiling pieces are going to come to about here, And then any of my wiring, I think I talked about this previously, but any of my wiring is going to be run along the top. And then I'm going to get a piece of metal bent or flashing made that's going to come up and then bend over like this to the ceiling. And that'll hide all of our wiring and everything in the nice corner, and we can do it as white or black or whatever, and that'll trim off the entire perimeter of the trailer really nicely. So that's the first piece. I think I'm going to put this piece up first, and then we'll make sure the other one's the right size, but we should basically need 2 of these matching pieces. So I'll put this up by myself, have a piece of 2x4 to hold the ceiling up, because this is pretty flexy stuff, and let's see how this goes. Gosh. Treat. Holy man, well, that was fun. Not a lot of fun. All right, guys, so what I had to end up doing was I wanted to keep this joint here as straight as possible on the truss. So what I did was trim this corner. So I trimmed about probably 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch off this corner and just beveled it over there. So you can see there kind of what was happening was this this piece back here is kind of bent in at that back corner. So we were essentially just trimming that edge off over there, and that's sitting on that little tab, which is fine. And you can see the difference here with how this piece is lower than that, which visually I think will be just fine because it gets broken up with the bar right away. So, and then of course, like I mentioned, there'll be a trim piece that goes over this all the way down the center. So okay, so I've put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 screws in. There will be an extra screw put in when I put the center piece in. And same thing with this cross member piece too. So yeah, I may end up actually cutting this a little bit because it should be okay. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. As long as the other piece fits in there, we'll be okay. Anyways, guys, so I'm going to do the rest of the ceiling. Next piece is going to be this other one. And hopefully that one goes smoother now that I know what the heck I'm doing. And I'll show you the progress when I have some. Alrighty, so all the pieces are installed on the ceiling. Now you can see we're not super accurate with everything, and that's because we're putting those trim pieces on. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is cut those trim pieces. Now, just because of how wide we need some of these to be, what I'm probably going to do is I was going to match the wall width, but I'm just going to go with a random number, probably 4 inches or something like that, and that'll make it nice and simple to do the ceiling. I'll trim those or cut those on my table saw and we'll get those installed. And it's definitely cold in here. The sun's out right now. The sun's out right now and it's beating down on the roof. It's not super warm out right now, but it's freezing in here. And as soon as I go outside in the sun, it makes a big difference. So that's the point of the insulation, is to help when you're out at the field in the middle of summer, not being like in a heated metal box. So anyways, guys, I'm going to trim these pieces and we'll get them installed. All right, guys, ceiling is all trimmed out. So it's a pretty simple process. There's a couple areas, I mean, this stuff is not super strong by any means, so it's not all tightly stuck up there. But again, if we used some heavier plywood or something like that, the ceiling's really not, in my opinion, not designed for that. But happy with the result. It worked out awesome. I think it looks really good. And yes, we got a fudge area there, but I'm just going to leave that because it's just a trailer. All right, guys, getting prepped to paint the trailer. I took the spare tire off the wall. It's actually a really nice mount that they include. You can lock it, so I might put this on the tongue. We'll see. That's kind of up in the air. I don't have to decide that now, but that's something I'm thinking about, is putting it on the outside on the front of the trailer, because I can lock it on there. So I've pretty much decided, with the help of my lovely wife, what the plan is here. So we are going to be varathaning, whatever it's called, the trim pieces. You can see the difference there. I did this yesterday, just the kind of the front half of the trailer. I put one coat on. So we're going to be doing that on all the trim pieces and also on the ceiling as well. I took the E-track off the front that was there because we don't need that on there. We may use it on there, depending on what I do with the front section, but for now, we definitely don't need it on there to paint. So next thing I'm going to do is get rid of the wood out of here, get rid of that wood out of here, and then we can start working on the ceiling and trim pieces. The ceiling definitely pops. Looks really good. Now, at this point, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep those trim pieces like they are or paint them white. We're just going to continue and put another coat on them, but still undecided at this point. So I'm going to go over the trim pieces one more time, then put another coat on the ceiling, and that'll be about all we can do for today. All right, guys, there we go. We got progress happening. So we've got 2 coats of urethane or whatever it's called on the ceiling, and all the trim pieces. We've got our 2 LED lights mounted, and it's nice and bright in here. It's awesome. All right, so there it is, all closed in. So it's definitely bright now with those lights. I think that's a better choice for me than doing like LED strip lights. From all the pictures and stuff I've seen, the LED strip lights are good, but I think these things are just awesome. So I actually had these in my garage, and I bought a couple fluorescent fixtures that use standard bulbs and just replaced them. So these didn't cost me a whole lot, but that's what she looks like. So all I did to screw these in was get my lovely wife to hold this up and just basically screw into the roof beams. With the LED fixtures, there's no ballast or anything like that. All the electronics are just in this one end, so works very, very good. And then I'll just snip these little ends off so they're almost at the ceiling height. So right now I'm standing on 3 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood. I'm 6'1" and still have lots of space in between the light fixtures, so it's going to work good. The only place in this trailer that I need to duck is essentially going out of the man door. That's the only place I've got clearance issues. So what I'm going to do with these cables is I'm going to have these cables come together up to the ceiling with some cable keepers screwed into the ceiling. These cables are going to come to the edge, and then I'm just going to solder them together onto one connection. That's kind of what I'm thinking about right now. And then that one connection might go to the front of the trailer, come down and plug into the power bar. Might go this way on the trailer, come down and plug into the power bar that I'm going to run down there. So we've got multiple options right now, but it's pretty simple. Because this is a house, or not a house, I'm not worried about obviously following code regulations or anything like that, but I do want to make it safe. So that's it for tonight, guys. Happy with the progress. I've consulted with my wife, and she feels very strongly that I should leave these painted and stained and then paint these panels white. That's what I'm going to do. She made the final call on it. I think it's a good call. And so anyways, we're going to paint all these panels white. They're going to be trimmed out with the wood board, and it'll make it even more bright in here, and I think it'll look nice and clean, but still keeping some of the wood, which I really was keen on keeping as well too. So looks awesome. Good progress. All right, guys, that is, I think, effectively the end of trailer build video number 2. Making good progress on the trailer. I am not a fan of painting. Painting is something I do not like to do. I don't mind painting planes, even though it's not my favorite thing to do, but I really don't like painting walls, don't like painting stuff in the house, and it drives me a bit batty, and my wife knows it. So, once the painting's done in here, I'm going to be very, very happy. So a couple things that we're going to be working on in the next video is obviously painting the walls. That's pretty straightforward and pretty quick. But we're going to start working on the front section, okay, up there. So a few things that I've been thinking about, if you guys don't mind commenting down below and giving me your opinions and thoughts on it. I see a lot of guys with the trailers, they have all their tools and stuff in there permanently. I'm not going to operate this trailer like that. Right now I've got everything in toolboxes, the Milwaukee pack-out system that I like using. So I don't know how I'm going to rearrange the front at this point. What I was thinking about doing was doing a half cabinet on the one side facing the door, and then keeping this side blank, so I can put my pack-out system and strap it down to the wall. And I really like that system. I think it works great, but I also won't be storing anything in this trailer either. It's basically going to be, you know, when I bring it home at the end of the day, everything's coming out of it. It'll just be the shell and the racking system that's in here. So yeah, still haven't fully decided that. If you guys have a trailer and you like something about it regarding the tool storage and things like that, let me know. I've also got an old red toolbox set that I could put in here, one of those stand-up ones. It's just a shorter one. I was thinking about incorporating that into the front, so haven't fully figured that out, but it's definitely in the works, and we'll be working on that in the next video. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning into the videos. If you like the video, don't forget to smash that like button. If you have not seen my channel before, hit that subscribe button down below. It's free, and make sure that you won't miss any of my future videos. When you do hit that subscribe button, don't forget to hit the bell so you get notified when I release new videos. That's it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you in the next video.